Sir.
Hello, good afternoon. How are you?
Great, mister. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so
Good afternoon.
good afternoon, good afternoon. So we have Dimitri, Pablo, Rishi, Tarandeep. Okay. Let me open the documents. So we are going to continue with Pandas. So what we covered last week is, we imported Pandas module, and so we learned how to create a data frame from a dictionary. And so this is how we did, we have a dictionary here, and we have pd.dataframe, and in the brackets we put the variable mydict, and so we were able to run the dictionary data frame. First I need to run this one. This is data frame 1. Okay, so we also said that we could actually directly put dictionary in the inside of the bracket pd.dataframe and dictionary, and we could have the same result. So as you see, this is our data frame. We also learned that we could create a data frame from list also. This is list of list, and so basically I have this list, and then also I have another list for the headers. So, and here, the first part is the data. My list is data, and columns, we have headers. And so when we run it, so we were able to run output the data frame. So just like a dictionary, we could actually directly put the list inside of the data frame. And also we could define columns as a list. So we could also have our data frame here. So after that, we talked about reading comma separated values file, CSV files, into our notebook. So we were working on this Fortune Global 500 data set. And so what we did is we read the data. How we did, we started with pd.read_CSV, and in the bracket, the name of the file. And it was important that we had to upload here the data set, and the data set here is F500. So without it, of course, it would give an error. So now when I run it, because now it's here, and notice that, the name should be exactly the same. So this is how we run. And if I wanted to see top 5 column, I would do like this F500.head. And so top 5 rows of the data frame. And so it looked like this. And after that, we check the data type. So as you see, it is data frame. And we also talked about shape. This command will let us know the number of columns. The first part is number of column, and second part is first part is number of rows. Second part is number of columns in the data set. Okay, so there are 17 columns in this data set. And after that, we started inspecting the data frame. So, for example, if we wanted to see top 6 rows, so we have to like data frame dot head the number of rows. So we gave here the variable name. So if I run the variable name, so I'm going to have top 6 rows. You see 5 starting from index rows, top 6 rows. And same way, if I want to see the last 8 rows, then instead of head, we're using tail here. And if I run, that's the variable, and when we run this, we could see the last 8 rows. And hopefully you're okay with this and you don't have any problem. So if I want to know the data type of all of the columns, you see there are 17 columns. So I'm using data frame.d types. So it tells me the type of data. The first column is company, it's an object. It means it's a string and integer, these two are integer and floats. So as you see, D types tell us the data type of each variable. So by the way, we can also call each column as a variable as well. But if I want to dig deeper, so then I can use info. Info gives us more information, not only data type, but also how many data we have in each column, and whether there are null data. It means there are 500 non-null data, and here 498 non-null data. It means 2 data is missing here, 1 data is missing here, so less than 500. So we can see how much data is missing. So here also we can see we have 3 types of data here: float, and 3 of them float, 7 of them integer, and 7 of them are strings. And so again, let's remember what we have. This is the data we have. So we also learned that if we want to see any particular column, instead of having all of the data frame, I want to see only this column, company column. So here, this is how we see it. We have data frame and square bracket. And inside of the square bracket with code, we have the company name. When we run it, see, we have all of the companies starting from 0th index all the way up to 499. So just like data frame, if I want to see only, let's say top 10 of them, I can still use head here. Likewise, I can use tail as well if I want to see the last 10 items. Okay, so here is another way of accessing the same information. So F500 data frame dot company. As you see, we can have the same thing, and even I think head should work here. 10. Okay, but the problem with this method is that, so if it's only one word, that's okay. But if it is multiple words with space between each word, then this will not work. So you either need to run this one, or all of your columns should be one word, or you need to connect them with underscore. So this way it will be one word and it will work. Since we don't have such a column right now, it will give an error. So yeah, just for your information, it should be just one word. And so we had some tasks, just the practice of what we covered about. So this is how we can we can select just one column. So we also said that we actually can access multiple columns. So this is just one column, for example, country. But if I want to access multiple columns, so please notice the difference when there's only one column or there's only one square bracket, but when there is more than one column, we have double square brackets. And inside of the column, inside of the brackets, you can type in quotation mark whatever column you want to see. So for example, in this case, we selected revenues and years on global 500 list. I gave it a variable name. So if I want to access this information, and we have this. So revenues and years on global 500 list. So this is how we access multiple columns. So now, if I want to know the type of this one, because there's only one column and there are multiple columns, and this is the whole data frame. This is the whole data frame. So if I want to know their type, so here we check the data type. Okay, so when we run this one, so as you see, name is not, what is it? French. Type. Countries, where are the countries? Yeah, I need to run this one first. Okay, and now let's check. Now, as you see, the countries here, which is just one column. So the data type of this is series. 500 is the whole data frame. It is data frame. So revenues and years, you see, this is a multiple column, not the whole, not the entire data set, and not just one column, not just one column. There are two columns, multiple columns. So it's also data frame. So it means when you have only one column, it's serious, but other than that, more than one column and the entire data set, they are both data frame. So, so we also talked about vectorized operations. It means, let's say you select one column and you select another column, you can do mathematical operations. You can do addition, you can do subtraction, you can do multiplication, division, you can do, you name it, you can do everything. For example, imagine you have one column with these values and you have the second column with these values. If you sum these two columns, you can directly have the result here. So it's so simple. You don't have to do any for loop or any other operation. Just select the whole list, of course, with numerical value, and then you will have the result. We actually applied this one here. Remember, in our data set, we have previous rank and we have current rank as well. So if I want to know whether there's a shift in the ranking from last year to this year, so basically we subtract this year's rank from last year's, then you will see the difference and it will be the shift. So when we do this, you will see we will have this one, Walmart, for example, 0. It means they're in the same position as this year as last year, state grid as well. The China National Petroleum went down by 1 and Toyota Motor increased. Let's say, for example, if this one is in the 5th place right now, maybe in the previous year, they were in the 8th place and they moved by 3. So they're in the 5th position right now. I think these two, Sinopec and the China National Petroleum, they swapped because this one was above before. Now it went down by 1 and it came down here, and this one increased by 1. So that's they swap. And we talked about some operations with series. So we said that we could, with this command, max command after series, we could see the maximum value in that column, minimum value in this column, average in the column. This one is the value right in the middle of the column. And this value is about most frequently repeated value. And we could also sum as well. So we did this, for example, in the rank change. What is the maximum change in the rank? I need to run rank change first. Okay, so we did this calculation here. And if I want to see the maximum change, so one of the companies went up by 226 position upward. And one of the companies went down by 500. Okay, so, and for example, in the revenues column, because we have 500 companies, if I want to know their total revenues, so this is how I calculate a lot of money, you know. As I said last time, how many digits here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 digits. Yes, 8 digits multiplied by million. Remember, each value here times million. So this much their revenues altogether. So their average revenues is this amount. Okay, so we also talked about other statistical comments. For example, when you run revenues and describe, okay, it tells you everything about the revenues. For example, mean, just like the one I calculated here, min, max, etc. So describe, we said that we can run this, apply this for all of them, whole data frame, and it will apply all of the numerical values. But if we want to know about string values, because not all of the data is about number, we also had some data there, for example, which sector they were in, which industry they were in. So we have right now count. So it means there were 500 data, and out of 500 data, for example, there were 58 unique industry all these companies are from. And so top industry was commercial and savings bank. And so the frequency of this one, it was repeated. See, this is how I think my Mac is out of battery. Let me turn it off. So can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes, we can hear
We
you.
can hear you.
We can hear you. For a moment, I thought it was only me that couldn't hear you.
Okay, so you know, this was another way of. Thank you very much for the information. We can access the same result instead of include an object, and this is O, capital O, and we can access the same information. And what else? Selecting rows with logic. We stopped here last week, right? We didn't cover this one. So I'm going to stop here right now with this file because I have a new file, but it is a bit different from this one. I mean, rest of this part. So skip this part and we won't continue from this file. And I'm going to open the next file, which is introduction, week 8, introduction to pandas, which is actually this one. we are going to work on this one right now. Okay, so in this one, we will continue working on this one. All right. Do you have any questions so far regarding the previous lesson?
No, no.
I
No,
assume.
mister.
All right, thank you. I assume everyone is fine with it. So let's get started. I'm going to start with importing the library PD as usual. Okay. You know, let me import the data first. Okay, F500. I need to make sure I have the data set here. Let me upload it here. Okay, I have the data set, and I'm going to read the data set into my notebook, read PD read underscore CSV, and inside the bracket, what is it? F500.csv. So when I so it works right now. If I want to see the sum of the data, so as usual, I do head. Okay, so right now, the problem here is that you see we have index here which starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we also have this one goes all the way down to 499. But this one starts with start from 1 and it goes to 500. It's kind of confusing. Okay, so what I want to do here is that I want to reset index. It means when I read my data, I want to omit this part. I want to import without this part. So a company will be my first column, and it will be my index. So how can I do it? I can actually apply almost the same thing. I'm going to copy and paste it here. Okay, so the only difference is that I will type index call. Okay. And I will make it 0. Okay, so when I make it 0, it will be fine, but I will do one more thing, and I will do F500 dot index name, because although we don't have a name here, but there is a name. Okay, index. So I'm going to reset it as well. I don't want to have any name for the index. I will make it none. Okay, so now when I hit run, okay, it's good, it's working now. Let me check the head again this time. Okay, as you see right now, I have top 5 columns, so I don't have index here anymore. And I have it start with the company name, and I have here right now my rank, and everything works fine. I'd like to remind one more time that the default number here is 5. So if you don't write anything, you will have the top 5 rows. And if you want to have different number of rows, then you can just change it. But I usually don't add anything here, so it shows me the top 5 rows. Okay, so now we're all clear right now, and we will continue. We will go ahead. So now, next thing we're going to learn is that there is this iloc function. Sometimes we want to know what is the value in a particular row. So we just want to enter the number of row, the index of the index, number of index, and then we want to see the information in this row. So what I'm going to do is that I will type F500 iloc, and let's say, let's look here. So I want to see what is in the row with index number 2. It's 0th index, first index, and second, right? So I will just type here 2. Okay. Oh, I think I know why. Because we don't have index here. Okay, so just a second. What am I doing mistake? It's yes, of course. It's my bad. Everything is fine. It's even not about this. Let me run this one again. There's no problem with this one. The problem here is that I need to use square bracket. It happens sometimes. Actually, index 3. So index 3 again, 0, 1, 2. Index 2, but actually the third column, okay? So let's check the rank for, rank 4. Did I do 3? Rank 4. Yes. So this is index 3. Let me do index 2 actually. Index 2, rank 3. That's okay. That makes sense. So the revenue change, profit, and everything. So I can access this information with index 2 and rank 3 and everything. For example, revenue change minus 9.1. As you see, you can access. So just like we are able to access any column by data frame dot column name with iloc, and just by putting here index number, I can access any row. So this way we can actually do a lot more than this. For example, F500, okay, dot iloc and square bracket. Remember here I all the time use head, right? If I want to access top 5 rows here, I use head. This is another way of accessing the same information. I use column and 5. If you remember this from index, so it means actually what I'm doing is I'm doing it from 0, between 0 to 5. So it takes 0th indexed, first, second, third, and fourth included, but not 5. So basically I can access the same information like so, okay? And with iloc, we can use this one. It comes very handy. You can even access to any particular data point with this one. So right now I have, of course, many rows. So if I want to know, if I want to access the 0th, for example, very first 0th index and in both column and rows, for example, F500, iloc. So I will type 0. I want to access the 0th row. 0th row is this one. And I want to also comma this time. And I'm going to type here 0 as well, because this one is axis for row, and this one is axis for columns, okay? So I'm looking for this part. Actually, right now, this is the index and this one. I'm expecting this number, and let's see. You see one. Because this is my index now. Normally, if I had here index number, I would get, Walmart, because it was going to be 0th index. But right now, and from here, it's this row is the 0th index, and this column is 0th column. So I am able to access this information. For example, this one, if I want to access to, I don't know, maybe 2, 5. So this is the here. So this is second from here, 0th, 1st, 5th, and from here 0th, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th index. As you can see, if you want to access any particular data point, you can access to this one. In fact, this one is supposed to be here. Okay, and top 5 one, this one was supposed to be here because I want to access top 5 and selecting, actually it's the same thing, not a big deal. 5th row, yeah, this is it must be the 5th row, F500 iloc 5. Okay, all right, I hope it makes sense. Now with this iloc, we can even do more things. iloc, so selecting the last 3 rows. Remember this one, column and then 5th, it means top 5. This one serves as like this one. So excuse me, -3, starting from, you know, remember minus index, and this one. We use negative index. As you see right now, it starts from the last, the 3rd row from the last, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. Okay, last, yeah, -1, -2, and -3. Okay, in fact, you can also, this is not only about rows, you can also access columns with iloc as well. For example, F500. Okay, because for example, if I want to access any particular column, so I need to select all of the rows. Okay, so when you do like this, comma, so when you have this one, it means all of the columns from top to the end, you want to select all of the columns, but sorry, all of the rows, sorry, all of the rows. First one is about rows. Second one, you want to choose, for example, I want to access to which one? 0th, 1st, 2nd, the 3rd, it means profit. So when I do like this, where did I make mistake? iloc, I forgot iloc, yeah. As you can see right now, these are my indices, and this is the 3rd column. So remember, normally when we run regular column, let me show F500 revenues. Okay, this one is revenues and not revenues. We have this one, profits, 13, start with 13. Oh, because this is the last one, right? Let's say 5th. Okay, this is profit, 0th, 1st, 2nd, 3rd. So the 3rd one is profits. Okay, so when you look at the profits, you see this way you write the name of the column, or another way, if you remember, profits. This is another way, as you remember, profits. And basically, I do the same thing here, but the only difference, yeah, basically it's the same. There is no difference. The only difference here is that we don't specify the name of the column. We just write the index number and then it's fine. And selecting several columns with index. For example, now I want to do like this, F500, iloc. Okay, again, I'm selecting all of the rows. The first axis is about row. And second time, let's say I want to access all of the columns between indices 2 and 5. Okay, so I didn't specify here the number of columns, slices, because I want to select everything, but here I have limitation. It will start from the second column, column with the second index. It will take second, third, and fourth, not fifth one. It means it will have 3 columns. So let's take a look at it. As you can see, revenue, change, profit, and assets. You see, so you have more powerful tool with iloc. So you can do more things. It is similar to in the previous lesson, if you remember, if you wanted to have multiple columns, we were having double square, and you had to write the name of the columns, and you could separately write the name of the columns. But here you can actually say from second column to 10th column. So you can do all of them just at one go instead of typing one by one. So this is first thing. By the way, if you type your head, so if you want to access only 3 of them, for example, from the top, you can use head with this one also. All right, selecting several columns with iloc. And in fact, with this one, you can actually specify the columns. So again, I'm selecting all of the rows. So here, but it has to be in the list because otherwise it will mix up. So I will have a list because I will have different number of columns. I want to have a column with the index 3, and also just next to it, I want to have the 10th column. Doesn't matter, and maybe the 4th column should be there as well. I'm saying 4th column, but actually it will be the 5th column because these numbers are the index numbers. Okay, so when I hit run, as you see, profit, country, and assets. So if you know corresponding index number, you can actually change. You can use, but I just guessed. Yeah. And what else you can do? You can actually select multiple rows and columns as well. F500. Okay. iloc. So for example, I want to slice, by the way, we call, this is the correct term to use in this case is slice. I want to slice from column 2 to 5 and column 7, sorry, excuse me. I want to slice from row 2 to 5. The first part is always rows, okay? And columns, maybe 4 to 8. Okay, so we have this part is column, row, and this part is column. So let's take a look at it. As you see, from 2, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th rows, with the indices, and these are 5 because index 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this is how we use iloc. So maybe right now you might think, so what is so special about this? Why do we tackle with this one? Because later on, probably next week, we will also talk a little bit of pandas. So everything we will do data visualization. We will do some exploration. So if we equip ourselves with these tools, they can come really handy, and we can easily apply this knowledge. All right. So here we have some task. For example, it says that assign the result first 3 rows. Select the first 3 rows. So it's easy right now because we just did it. iloc first 3 rows. So starting from 0th index all the way up to the index 2, okay, less than 3. So and I need to give first 3 rows the variable name first 3 rows. Okay, so if I typo first, if I run this one, yeah, so these are the first 3 rows. And here select first and 7 rows and first 5 columns. So it's not a big deal. Let me create one more. What's the again? Select first and 7th rows. So what I need to do is f500.iloc. So we need to remember, it doesn't say select from first to 7, but it says select first and 7. So if I do like this, it's a mistake because it will select everything between first and 6. But instead, what we're going to do is, let me put a comma here first. Remember, I'm going to put column here. So this one is about rows and this one is about columns. So right now, what we are going to do here is that I will delete this one. I'll put an index here. Square bracket, because I have to put here multiple rows. First and 7th row, okay? So instead of, yeah. And here, what else? And first 5 columns. So this part is easy. So I will do first 5 columns. It means from slicing from 0th index to 5th. So I think it should be fine. Let me run it. Okay, good. I have first and 7th row, and there are 5 columns here. Looks like I have to give it a name. First, 7th row slice. First, 7th row slice. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I think that's it about iloc. And do you have any questions so far? If there's anything unclear before we move on, please let me know. Let me know.
Can I copy it for a moment?
Yeah. Which part do you want to copy?
That one and yeah, that one.
Yeah, of course. All right, maybe we can take a break. It's 6:45. Maybe, yeah, let's take a break and we will come back at 6:55. Okay, so we will have another session to cover the rest of the topic.
All right.
All right, so I'll see you in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, Mr.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let me keep sharing and pause recording. Excuse me, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. We can hear you.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we are going to start a new topic. Actually, it's still pandas, but so what else we can do with pandas? So let me. I think we need to do it several times. We need to import libraries several times, so we are comfortable with it. Let's do it again. Import pandas as PD. Okay, so let's read our data. TF. Okay, PD read CSV F500 quotation F500 CSV. Okay. All right. I didn't ignore index column. It's not a problem for me. In the previous session, I just wanted to show you if you ever need, that's how we omit the. Okay, so what we are going to do here is that, let me see if I'm in the right place. Okay. So imagine we have a data frame here, and so there are two of them actually, and one here, and yeah. So for example, I have 4 people here: Kyle, Rahul, me, Michael, Sarah, and these are their numbers: 12, 8, 5, 8. Maybe it's their age. I don't know. For example, I want to load this data, but I want to filter it. I want to filter it by this value. I want to have only people with number 8. Okay, so I think it's their favorite number, I guess. So, and how can I do it? So what we do here is that we can use Boolean, okay, Boolean. So what we do here is that this is the column df num, okay. So double equal 8, okay, double equal 8. So when you give it a variable name and when you run numble, you will have this. You will have false because it's not 8, and true, false, and true. So you will have this falses and trues. So when you put this numble, this variable inside of df, okay, in square bracket. So what it is going to happen is that you will still have whole data set, not only the column, but from here, because this one, you pass this one, number, you pass this one. So because this is false, it won't appear in the new data frame. This is okay, this is not okay, and this is okay. So you will have a new data frame, the result, Rahul and Sarah, because they have both number 8. This is how we filter data with logical statement. Okay, so this is the formula actually. You have the series, you have the column, whatever column you want to check. So df dot column name, or in the square bracket with code, you can have the column name, and double equal. You are familiar with this from our Python lesson, okay? Just like when you compare in the if statement, you have double equal, and then whatever condition it is, okay? Here is the desired column value. Supposing you have different kind of values in the columns, and you want to equalize it, and then put this one inside of the data frame. What we actually did here is that, you know, we have numble here, but actually, instead of numble, if you just put this side of the equation right inside of this df, you would have the same result. So in a moment, we'll practice. So there are two ways you can do it. You can do the logical comparison here and give it a variable name, and then put variable name inside of df, or and do the logical comparison here without giving a variable. Put this one just right inside of the whole df. So you can actually give it a new variable name. So it will be a new data frame for you. So now let's practice, okay? So imagine I'm going to take a look at my F500 pad, if it, just to see if it works, okay? Okay. So in this F500, what I'm going to do is I am going to take a look at the industry, F500 industry, okay? See, we have the industry, this part is the industry. So here, what I'm going to do is I want to check, I want to filter it. There are 500 right now. I want to filter by the industry with the value, okay, double equal, and motor vehicles and parts. I want to filter all the companies who are in motor vehicles and parts industry. Okay, so as you see right now, just like in the example, we don't have the old information bar. We have falses and trues here. Okay, so it means if it is true, it means this company is in this industry. If it is false, it is not. But this information is not very informative for me. So what I want to do is I will say, what was it here? Bool, okay. Let me say int bool, just to make it look like the previous one. Industry Boolean, okay. So industry Boolean. So now I'm going to put this industry Boolean inside of the data frame, and see, I have all of the companies who are in motor vehicle and parts industry. Okay, so notice, you know, we don't have rank 1, 2, 3 anymore. So whoever is in the industry, we have their information here. Okay, so it means it is working. So this is the first way of doing it. And the second way, actually, the second way to do it, and let me comment it. Now, what I'm going to do here is that this one is definitely, we need this part. Okay. So this is the logical statement. So this one, okay, let me. So right now I have here, Booleans, and you know it from before. Now what I'm going to do here is that, so instead of, let me, I'm going to create a totally entirely new box. Okay, so this is what we have now. And here, I'm going to do F500. Instead of assigning in bool here, I will put everything here, right inside of this one. I'm going to even delete this one. I don't need it. I will do everything in one go. So this is the logical equation, and then I put it in the data frame. When I hit enter, so we have the same goal, same result. So if you find this one, you know, less complicated, and go ahead and use this one. But once you get used to it, you can start using this one, because this is more practical, and this is how I usually do. Okay, so you do the logical comparison and then put it in the data set, and it will be just fine. And next, let me see what I got here. Yeah, and okay, so let's do another one. So I want to know the companies. Let me see, where am I now? Yeah, I want to know the companies, F500, and the companies with employee number, employees, okay. So when I just hit run, and it will just show me the employees. But, and the companies with more than 500,000 employees, okay? These are the companies which have more than 500,000, 500,000 employees. But if I want to see all the information about these companies, and I just need to put this inside of the data frame. So this will give me, instead of just true and false, it will give me all the information about these companies with more than 500,000 employees. Let's take a look. Where's employees column? Here. See, they all have more than 500,000. This one just slightly over 500,000. So all of them they have more than 500,000 employees. So what else? So, okay, this is basically, you can do whatever comparison. This is very similar to if statement you learn in the beginning when you learn Python. So this is the same logic, but before this, you need to have the data frame and column, and then you need to put everything inside of the data frame. And can you have multiple condition, multiple logical statement? So for example, in this case, imagine you have a data frame, a different data frame, in which you have age and name of the people, okay? So, okay, the person, maybe let's say you have such a big database that there are multiple people with the same name, okay? Martha Jones. What you want to do here is that this is OR, by the way. So you want to find people either less than 30 years old or with the name Martha Jones. When you do like this, you will have either this one or this one, the combination of this. As you see, you use here OR operation, this one OR operation. So let's do some practice with our actual data set. So what I'm going to do here is that I will filter the data set by the energy sector, and also or the companies either in energy sector or from China. So either statement will be fine for me. So what I'm going to do here is that I will do F500 and energy, okay, energies, sorry, not energy, of course, we don't have such a column, sector, double equal, energy. So let me run first and see, yeah, there are so many companies in this one, energy. I mean, all of the companies are either energy or not, okay, true or false. And plus, not plus actually, or this is or statement. And F500 country, okay, double equal China. So this time, what did I do? Yeah, country, what is wrong here? Yeah, I need to put this one inside of F500. What is wrong here? Cannot perform with D typed. Can I? Yes, I think I made a mistake here. And so the problem here is that when you have multiple logic here, it causes some trouble. There is or, but or for what? So we need to put both sides into a bracket, round bracket. So we specify either everything here or everything here, okay? Then it should be fine. Yes, it is, okay? So looking at these companies, look, they're from energy sector, but there are some companies that are not from energy, but these companies are from China, because either from energy sector or China, as you see, it works perfectly fine, okay? So this is or, and let's do one more. Maybe let's try one and, okay? Okay, so companies in top 50 in the technology. So I am going to use two columns here. One is rank. So they should be smaller than 50. And they should be at the same time in the technology sector as well. So let's start with F500 sector, double equal technology, okay. And before I forget, let me put them in round bracket because I will have and here, okay. So we use this symbol. Let me, before I forget, let me put a round bracket. So F500, okay, rank, okay, smaller than 50, okay. I want to be on the safe side. I'm going to put this inside of, yeah, I will do it this way. Now, when I do this, I think we will have, yes, trues and false. So if I put everything inside of square bracket, it will just show me, yeah, I think there are this many companies because right now we have more limitation. When in or, if just one of the statement is correct, that is enough to be true. But when it is and, both sides has to be true. So looking at this one, technology, yes, all of them are in technology, and their rank is less than 50. So there is no company in technology here with the rank over 50. Okay, and so there is one more way we can filter the information, okay. All right, it is, which is isin, select rows with isin, okay. Isin basically checks if any column has any particular values. For example, let me show you with an example. I'm going to search, I'm going to filter with the companies from, let's say, countries, okay, country is in, okay, is in, comma, okay, and I will put it in list. So all of the companies either from USA or China or Germany. So what this one is going to do is that it will search these values in the country column. So if they find, it will be true, okay? All the others will be false, okay? So one true, 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 false because it's from Japan, false, true, New China, probably China. So if we want to have a better picture of this, we can put it inside of square bracket, and so here we go. There are, wow, 270 rows. Interestingly, can you imagine out of 500 companies, 260 of them are from USA, China, and Germany. And the rest of them are from the rest of the world. Okay. Okay. All right, let's go back to our previous thing. We were talking about setting indices. So the plural form of index is indices, okay? So let's go back to our previous filter, F500 employees 500 million. So just a second. I want to, where was it? The very first one. The one that we read data. Let's take a look at our data. Okay, we have index. Okay, good. All right. So I want to work on DF, okay? So F500 is a bit different. I will work on DF. So this is actually the same thing, okay? Because in the beginning, we read it as, I mean, let me tell you why this is DF. Actually, it's the 500 is the same data, but I want to prefer using a DF because with DF, we have index here. With F500, we don't have index. So I want to, this will be about it. So yeah, so I have my DF, and as you see, I have here my index and rank here. Remember in the previous section, we omit this part. So it directly started from here. I want to keep this one, but one thing here, there will be one problem, and we will fix it here right now. So, and so this is the DF, and yeah. But right now, when I filter, so look here, please. When we filter here, so we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 26, 27, 98, 118. These are, this is the indices of the whole data set. But with this filter, let me have, for example, new DF, for example. Let me call this new DF. And now I gave it a new variable, new name. There's my new DF. So when I look at new DF had 20, time is it? We have 10 minutes. So when I look at top 20 in my new DF, my index doesn't work well. It's still from the previous one. So what I want to do here is that I'm going to reset this index, okay? So I will reset this index. So it will be now with new DF, I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because this is not all data set anymore. So what I'm going to do here is that, let me comment it out. What I'm going to do is my data frame name is new DF right now, because new DF is for this one, okay? Now reset index. Okay, so when I reset index, you see now it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's good, but now the problem is I still have the old data set here, so old index here. It is very confusing right now. So I want to get rid of this one, okay? So in order to do that, I will do drop true, because as default, drop is false, okay? It doesn't drop. So drop means delete, okay? Delete index. So when I hit enter, so you see now it is dropped right now, okay? It's dropped right now, we don't see it. Now, when I run new data frame, let me run it here. Let's see if everything is okay. If everything is okay, drop true, rank, index. It shouldn't be okay normally. Let me do it again. Okay, normally it doesn't work this way, but when you run it, it still shows it in place. Okay, so I'm surprised it worked, but normally, yes, it shows here okay, but when you run it again, it still shows the old one because it doesn't save it. When you make in place equal true, it actually saves it, okay? From now on, new DF will be always without index. I hope it's not confusing. Yeah, let me show you again. So we have this, and when we had right now it's already saved and it will be fine. So what we do in order to save the in order to drop index, we have to in order to reset index, we use this command. And in order to get rid of this old index, we do drop index. And in order to save it, we do in place equal to true. Okay, I think that's it for the second part of the data frame. So the pandas. And for next lesson, we will do data exploration. Basically, we will do different things here. For example, we'll learn how to sort values. We will learn how to rename. We will learn how to create a new column. We will learn how to change the rename columns. We will learn how to aggregate in pandas, max, minimum, and there are other stuff. There are some other stuff we're going to learn, and we will do group by. If you are familiar with Excel or Google Sheet, you can group by your data. We will learn it. And after that, once we complete this, and maybe this one will be very quick next week, and we will have, we will start data visualization. So how can we use all this information? How can we visualize it? How can we have a chart, different type of charts, depending on your need, what type of chart is a good idea? So, and we will be talking about data visualization, and final 2 weeks, we will do some machine learning models, and yeah, basically this is how our future lessons will look like.